Dad, oh my gosh, you dropped your needle in your wheelchair. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. You are the only one in this house that uses those needles. I have had this conversation with my father on more than one occasion. That pain that you feel when you prick your needle on those little pin needles is the equivalent of stomping your toe in the middle of the night or stepping on one of your child's Legos. Needles is going to be my choice of topic today. Let's look at the different types of medical needles, whether they are used in a good way or a bad way. My father uses them every single day to save his life. My mother decided using her needles wasn't that important in saving her life. My father, as we speak, is sitting in his living room watching a movie and enjoying himself. My mother is buried down the street at Natchez Trace Funeral Home. I know that sounds completely harsh, but I'm trying to do everything that I can to save my father's life. Let's look at two main points, one dealing with the cause of my mother and father using needles and the effect. The cause of having to use needles on a daily basis was because both of my parents developed diabetes. Being overweight and 45 years of age are two risk factors in having diabetes. Losing weight is the most important goal that you can have to fight diabetes. Eating a healthy diet and exercising daily will help you all reach this goal. It is very important to have a good relationship with your doctor, as well as to keep every single one of your appointments. So, what is diabetes? Let's talk about that. Diabetes is a disease that occurs when your blood glucose, or blood sugar, another name, is too high. Blood glucose is your main source of energy that's found in every single thing that you eat. Diabetes left unattended or poorly controlled can lead to serious or major health problems. Several major health problems can occur when it's left untreated. A few major problems can occur: kidney disease, heart disease, stroke, eye problems, nerve damage, and foot problems. My parents developed every single one of these problems that I have just mentioned on this screen. Now let's talk about using needles to save a life. The effect of having diabetes is having to use these needles. Let's look at a number of ways using needles in a good way. Diabetes has absolutely no cure. You can take steps though to manage diabetes and stay healthy. Number one, you can manage your blood sugar on a daily basis is a good way to maintaining it. Checking your sugar one time using the needle and removing it and placing it into a sharp spin. Using a 4mm pin needle is appropriate for everyone. Anyone can use those, and it causes the less amount of pain. You need to learn to make wise choices for your diabetes. You can take classes to teach you different ways of maintaining it. You can join support groups that can give you several pointers. You can read as much information as you can so you can be the best informed in how to treat your diabetes. So what can happen if you decide not to use your needles? They have huge consequences in not using your needles. You will start developing fatigue or dizzy, or all of your organs, your main organs can be completely shut down. Now we can learn a few, now that I have told you about a few causes and effects of your needles, let me just wrap all this up for you. As I am writing this speech for you today, it brings back so many memories about my mom and my dad. Before I started taking care of them, I knew absolutely nothing about diabetes, how to manage it, or even how to work a pin needle. The most important thing that I have learned is making sure that I check my dad's blood sugar every single day and learning how to work his needles. My mama decided about a year before she passed that her symptoms, it was not important to her to check her blood sugar, and all her organs shut completely down, as I mentioned before. And watching that, it was one of the most difficult things that I ever had to do in my life. One thing that I hope you take away from this speech is my personal experience about my mom and my dad and those blasted needles that I'm having to use on a daily basis to keep my father living. Thank you. Reference. These are my references that I used for my information. Thank you.